Yes, sir. Welcome to the TFW Royal Rumble post show. Boy, oh boy, holy hell, do we have a lot to talk about.
Let's go. We do.
Man, that was incredible. That was beyond incredible. Before we get to it, let's do the introductions. Rhodesia is smoking on her celebratory cigar. Not sure what she's celebrating. I don't know if she hated Sami Zayn all this time and she was happy to see him get maimed on live TV or what. But Rhodesia is excited. Eshaun is here as well. Guys, we talk a lot about storytelling, emotional investment, characters. We've been saying it a lot with this entire storyline. We've used words like perfect, incredible, best ever. Yes, we are, 7 minutes from this show ending. Hyperbole, maybe. That was the best ending to any pay-per-view from a story perspective I've ever seen.
Oh, man, that was amazing, right? I didn't see it coming like tonight. That moment, man, that was huge, bro. I mean, my mouth was dropped when that happened. Oh my God.
So I was a little bit late coming on here. Sorry, guys. I had to get my cigar. I mean, come on. I know we're going to talk about the whole Royal Rumble, but was that not just like a masterpiece? Of course, we're going to nitpick at certain spots, but how freaking amazing
Not me.
of what we just saw.
Not me.
We'll see by the end of this.
We knew we were getting some when they moved that match to the last spot.
Yep.
So, early in the day when they talked about that was going to be the main event, it was going on last. Of course, the first thing you think is, okay, that could be a Rock running at the end of the match. Okay, cool.
I didn't think that.
And then I'm like, well, if it's not The Rock coming back, it has got to be close to the blow-off of Sami Zayn within the Bloodline. It wasn't close to it. It was a stamp, period, exclamation point on that entire situation. Let's run it down really quick. And the match itself was kind of, to me, just background fodder for the most part. I don't know if you guys agree or not. It felt like at the time that match was pretty much dominated by Roman. I don't know if you guys got that same feeling from it.
I would say that I actually felt that the match was kind of just solid. I know a lot of times when Roman get that final match or when we see him at the premium live events, it's kind of slow moving. I thought that this match was a little bit faster than slow moving, but it still was just it was a good match, but the finish was very anticlimactic for me. I had to break it down, the match, and then what we got after the storyline. But for the match, I thought it was a solid match,
okay,
but it ended very anticlimactic.
Not me. I knew going into it this was going to be about story. Right, and that's what WWE does. They tell stories. It's not always about the physicality per se. We know we're going to get good matches because Roman is a good wrestler, a great wrestler. So is KO. So we knew that, but we knew there was no shot that he's going to win this match. So it had to be all about storytelling, and that's what we got from bell to bell. Was what was Sami going to do? Well, how was he going to win Roman over? How far was KO going to go to try to win the match? So I think from a storytelling perspective, like Roman is dominant. You let that man be dominant. We knew there was no way that KO could win this match. So the match kind of went as I expected. Now when they moved to the main event, I'm like, man, like it's like I didn't think we were gonna get this finish. I didn't think we were gonna get the end of the Sami Uso reign. Not tonight. I thought we might get it like down the road, but this is going to set the stage, y'all. I mean, this was like, wow.
It was crazy because you knew it was going to come. We knew this day was coming.
Yep.
Had to, right?
Yep.
But this is what we talk about when we say if you do something right, it doesn't matter if it is predictable or not. I now have to see Roman Reigns versus Sami Zayn. We talked about it last week. Yeah, we talked about it last week, right? Like, hey, do we really want to see it?
No, it's still Jay. I'm still gonna put Jay over Sammy.
Rhodey, after seeing that,
yes, absolutely.
The biggest heel on that.
No.
Tonight was Roman Reigns,
no,
not Jay.
Jay. No, that is true. That's true. But Jay has morals. His morals is once I call you brother, I'm not gonna do that to you. He left the ring. He left his true bloodline because he told this man last week that you were my brother. That I'm gonna walk away.
So why do you want to see him with Sammy instead of the man who?
Because I think that's a stronger story. Yes, Sammy is getting cheered. Sammy was getting cheered when they first came out. But I'm telling you, the actual story there is still The Rock. But it's Jay. I'm telling you. No, I don't want to see Sammy and Roman.
If I'm Sammy and I'm waking up this morning, I want to whoop Roman's ass, not Jay.
I'm not going to argue with that. That's true.
That's who getting the hands, and I'm going down the line. Next is going to be Jimmy. Because I thought that was my road dog. He the first who swung on me. You know what I'm saying? He the first who swung on me. Then so going to get some hands too. And Paul, you going to get some hands as well. All right? So I'm going from top to bottom right now.
So here's the thing. We talk about heat. That was some damn heat.
Oh, the FU Roman chants?
Yes.
They successfully turned Roman to the most hated heel in the company.
It's been coming, right? It's been coming. Villain. Yeah.
Yep, it's been coming over the last couple of weeks. You can tell he's been getting the Sammy chants. You can tell the crowd, they haven't been soured on him, but due to the story that they're telling, you can tell that, hey, it's all about the Sammy show, right? And tonight, it was just done so well. And when you heard the fuck you Roman chants, it was like mission accomplished. We are where we need to be. We're off and running now. We are off and running. I love the camera shots that they had where the final thing we saw was KO and Sammy laid out in the ring together. It was just all so great. Let's start talking about it. Like I said, I thought the match was okay. I thought it was a solid main event. Like for me, just watching it, it felt like Roman kind of dominated. We had a couple, false finishes for KO. Wasn't really false for me because we knew he wasn't going to win. The one false finish was kind of close with the chair. But then, of course, we knew KO was not going to beat Roman Reigns tonight. And then we get to, of course, the finish. And
real quick, before the finish, how freaking sick was those slams to the steel steps that
Brutal.
Roman gave twice over there. Sorry, I'm shaking my computer.
And the good thing with that was that's what you're going to remember from the match.
Yep. It was nasty.
Yep, that's one of those spots where it's like, hey, let's not do too much beforehand because this is what we want people to remember. The brutality of it. This is something we haven't seen from Roman. The spear, coupled with the shots with the steps was like, wow. Throws him in the ring. Hey, we get the 1, 2, 3. Okay, we're all good. Then we get to the real main event, which was the story of Sami Zayn. You got one last thing to do to show your allegiance to the bloodline, and that is take this chair, smash KO over the head, seeing he's handcuffed. He couldn't do it. KO is laying there looking like Jesus Christ on the cross. Like, hey, what are we doing? You can see Sammy with the chair in his hand, and he was just waiting. He was waiting. It looked like he was waiting to hit Roman for a little bit.
For a while.
The way the camera was.
Too. Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, don't do it, dude, because like you're going to get destroyed in this ring.
Oh yeah.
Right? I didn't know if he was going to hit him and then try to run.
Yeah.
Roman tells him, you got to do it. We're family. You got to do it. Sammy doesn't do it. Sammy hits Roman. Really similar to the way Seth hit Roman when the Shield broke up.
Yep.
And I loved that.
He did.
And then Sammy just sits there. Sammy sits there, which was so cool, as a face, right? He just looks at Jay and is like, I'm sorry, man, but I have to. He didn't run.
Yep.
He didn't try to hit anybody else. It was,
I'll take it.
I'm going to take it.
Yep.
And take it, he did.
Mm-hmm.
Well, shout out to KO for also taking 85 super kicks and Air Force Ones to the face. You got to shout him out for that. That was absolutely ridiculous.
They got all those receipts back from him busting Roman's eardrum. Back all the receipts.
All from War Games.
For the rest of their careers, he got all the receipts back for that.
All from War Games.
Mm-hmm.
So we had that, and the pay-per-view wrapped, of course, with the Bloodline minus Jay leaving because Jay dipped after that and just looked at Roman like, no, I can't do this, man. Which the crowd was there for that, too. Shout out to the Alamo Dome in Texas. That crowd was there all night. Shout out to you guys. We talk a lot about on Raw where those 3-hour crowds are dead as doorknobs. Tonight was not the case. They were there for every single match all night long. Let's get into the main event storyline. We saw it happen. Reaction to the emotion you had watching it, and then what is the next step? Perfect case scenario for you guys.
We talking about the Bloodline, Sami, KO, all that?
Yes.
So I do have one note that I wrote. I put F you, Rock. And that's only because I'm hurt, because I really wanted to see him come back tonight. I don't know. God, dog, how many times have I said, yeah, how many times am I going to say something about this storyline where, man, I don't know, but I'm just here waiting for it. Like, my God, all these peaks and dips. Like, I'm on this roller coaster, happily on this roller coaster. Man, this is it's crazy to me. I don't know. So to answer your question, I guess come Monday is going to be something that we'll find out. I don't know.
Hey, man, I just got like a very funny text. Check the chat real quick. But Rhodesia, I gotta ask you a question. Like, did you see like the Jay thing coming? Like, because I didn't see that coming personally, right? Because like if you think about like where this story's been coming, like I had no idea that Jay would be the person out of everybody that had remorse for Sami. Like, yo, I can't do this, right? You would think it would be Jimmy at one point, because he'd been riding for him this whole time. You know, he won solo over, right? And then now all of a sudden it's Jay who like, yo, I can't do it. But it kind of makes sense a little bit because Jay always been kind of like the independent thinker out of the group, right? He was the one who was fighting Roman in the beginning, right? So it kind of makes sense a little bit. But man, it is certainly great storytelling, right?
If you asked me, did I see that coming? Maybe not, but when they had the trial and he came out of nowhere, then I would say that I was not surprised tonight. And you almost even heard it in the crowd at the Alamo Dome. So first they were like, Sami to pretty much like encourage him to hit Roman with the chair. And then after all that transpired, then it almost went straight to Jay. And I'm like, oh my God, what is Jay going to do? I don't think he's going to put hands on anybody on his blood. But he did just that. Now, if he didn't have the trial, then I would be completely surprised for sure. But now that when he came to, Sami's defense, I wasn't surprised, to be honest with you.
Man, I'm still surprised. I feel like you got to be one stubborn woman, man, that you can't see Sami and Roman right now, because that's definitely, he had the biggest heel presence on that show tonight. Sami had the crowd eating out of the palm of his hands right now. I don't know where we're going. I mean, I do know where we're going with Royal Rumble, because obviously we're going to talk about it later on. We're going to see Cody and Roman. You know what I'm saying? But definitely the story has to end somehow with Sami and Roman. Maybe if the Usos is going to be just a prelude to that eventual match, maybe like a backlash or something like that, which is kind of like, Mania 2 a lot in most years. But certainly we got to see this match. We got to see Sami and we got to see Roman. We got to see it somewhere, somehow. That's the match we got to get to, right?
That's what y'all say.
You would think so. So what about that match?
The match?
Let's take it in a shoot style thought process. Okay. Where does KO go from here in this match with Roman Reigns? Now that, he, like I said, it looked like to me he got dominated. He gets dominated, but he's got his friend Sami. Where does that leave Kevin Owens in this story?
I think it's done. Now, if Sammy and KO team up together, and now the story is Sammy to kind of go against Roman, KO has to be in his corner. But other than that, it's done. I mean, Roman has had KO's number for a while. And like you said, even if you look at just the match itself, and you can say, well, Roman kind of dominated the match or he didn't. At what we remember is the 2 domination spots on the steel steps and how it ended with him being handcuffed to the ring. So to me, there's nothing else KO can do. That's just my opinion.
Nothing else KO can do. We are live on Twitter right now. We did have some technical difficulties.
Are we on Twitter?
So I figured out the Twitter piece. Haven't figured out the YouTube or the Facebook. So my apologies if you guys are looking for that. But hey, we're on Twitter. That's where we are right now. So hopefully you guys are watching, listening, and enjoying the TFW We're On Post Show. And if you are not, you got the podcast for the next day because we will be there. So we kind of just talked about Sammy, Roman Reigns. If you guys did not catch that, of course, the podcast will be available for you. Pull that up, which it is on every single platform you can find. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Google. We are there. Of course, you guys know we are on Twitter at ThesFNW. Still kind of in the fog of what we saw in that final main event. Once again, for me, I feel like has to be the best story of any finish of a pay-per-view I have ever seen. This is not about AEW or any other company. I am strictly talking about entertainment-wise. You are watching that and you say to yourself, I'm watching a live action movie right now that I had invested 8 months of my time in my life to, and I am getting a fantastic part of the payoff right now, leading to Elimination Chamber, which is right in Canada. That is going to be huge here in the middle of February.
Let me interrupt real quick because, I had 2 drinks tonight. That's like pushing my limits.
Come on now.
So I'm going to
He's had 2 drinks. Shout out to Eshaun with the drinks.
So I'm going to forget in a minute. Hey, real quick, we talked a little bit before we got live on Twit, but to me, this storyline
before we got live on what?
What?
On the Twit. Yeah. I'm making up stuff. Come on, let's keep going. So to me, I think this storyline is like the second one of the top 3, maybe the second best storyline I've seen since Hogan and Macho Man back in the day. What you think? Like, as far as like a ranking storyline wise?
I really loved Punk and MJF. So I don't want to completely discredit that storyline.
It. You think this is close to that?
No, it's not close to it. But I don't have to go all the way back to the Mega Powers exploding from the last time I was super duper emotionally invested. MJF and Punk, I thought was incredible storytelling, for sure. Rhodesia, I know you're not. Yeah, okay. So then WWE, it would have to be something with Austin or Rock, right? Without kind of just like thinking really quick.
I can't think the story. Now we talk about just a feud. Yeah, I'm talking about a story. Just like they recapped they did a great job of telling this story and bringing us on that journey and on the beginning of the pay-per-view. Right, just the beginning of the journey to where we are now. Like just the ebbs and flows as they've taken us to. We haven't really seen a story like that has been this powerful to me since I was a little kid. Watching the Mega Powers just implode. Like I can't think of the storyline that I've been this invested in. Not just seeing guys fight, but an actual story, because this story is what made me care about Sammy. It hasn't been his matches. It hasn't been moves.
Okay.
It's the story and his character work. It's been what made me invest in Sami Zayn.
Man, so I kind of don't know what else to talk about when it comes to just how great that was. So let's move off of that and let's go to the rest of the pay-per-view. Overall, before we kind of just go down the women's Rumble, the men's Rumble, whatever the Mountain Dew match was supposed to be, we'll get into that. And I think I cracked the code on Uncle Howdy. I figured out what's his situation when he did that splash. I got that. But overall, would you guys say thumbs up, thumbs in the middle, thumbs down? What was your guys' thoughts on the Royal Rumble compared to what you thought the Rumble would be?
What are you talking about, the women's or the men's? I'm sorry.
I'm talking about the entire show itself.
Oh, I'm going to thumbs up.
Okay.
Absolutely. If I had more thumbs, I'd give it more thumbs. Some toes too, some big toes, some pinkies. Anything.
I think I'm missing the purpose of this because it's not even lit. But
well, you never even told us. I don't think you even told us why you have a cigar.
Oh yeah.
Why else would I have a cigar?
Was it because Mercedes was number 30 in the Rumble, and that's what you've been saying for the last month and a half? Is that why you're doing it?
Yeah.
Let's not do that here today.
No, I'm just asking.
Let's not do that. Let's not do
Because,
that.
Like, we do need to know why you wanted to hold the show up.
Yeah.
Get it.
Oh, no, I know what it was. It was because Alexa Bliss won, and you said on our preview show that Alexa Bliss would win.
Don't do that for the people
So,
who are live right now.
That's why you have a cigar.
Cool. That's not cool at all.
So can you tell us why you have the cigar, please?
Man, we saw some awesome chiz right there. I want to call it perfection, but again, I don't want to be full of what we call it hyperbole. I don't want to be full of hyperbole here, because I've had probably 60 ounces of drink tonight. But I think we saw it makes up. I said in the first 5 minutes of the women's Royal Rumble match made up for all of the entire Royal Rumble match last year. The whole Royal Rumble last year.
All right, so let's get into the show. Let's start from the top, and then we'll work our way through. Pat McAfee, my man, is back.
Yay.
Loved his energy. Loved seeing him back.
Yep.
I would have enjoyed seeing him in the Rumble, but I'm good with him not being in the Rumble. Just having him on commentary for those hours, it's like, man, that's what we missed. And you can tell they were having a blast. So happy that they are able to enjoy their job. Michael Cole was having a good time. Graves was having a good time. McAfee was loving life as normal. So we had McAfee come out, and then we start the men's Royal Rumble with Gunther, number 1, and Sheamus, number 2. If it's not already a goated Royal Rumble at that point, I don't know what is. I had wrote down in the middle of the Rumble, Gunther is trusted something crazy right now.
Yep.
In the company. That was before knowing he was going to go from 1 to the end and go 70-plus minutes and take the crown for the longest male wrestler in the history of the Royal Rumble. He showed out and showed up. They did right by him. Super happy for Gunther, especially when you hear the reports back in May or June, he was on outs. Vince wasn't really happy with the work he was doing, and now look at where he's at. I just thought that was fantastic to see. Drew McIntyre, to me, was a highlight of the Rumble. Also, we talked about it previously. That guy's a beast, man, and he just is in the wrong time right now because he's hot at the time that Roman is scorching fire, so he's not going to get the title there. But I did want to shout him out. Big stories from the men Rumble, the actual Rumble match itself. What for you guys was the highlights of that match? Could have been a spot, could have been somebody's performance. What was a big highlight for you guys?
Brock getting eliminated. Okay, hold on. Let me get my Brock. This is Brock. Brock getting eliminated within his first 3 minutes by Bobby Lashley. What?
Crazy. Insanity.
If this was TFW moment of the week, this would be it. Brock would have been going over the top rope.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have
effect too.
Yeah, and you don't have to hit the mic. Too. You probably just busted somebody's eardrums. You guys are on when we talking about twit. We're talking about 86 ounces of beer. We trying to blow people's eardrums out.
I said 60 ounces, but
so for you it was Brock.
Yeah.
Eshaun,
there's a lot of stuff, but that was.
I can't believe it was a year ago we went to that Rumble together. But
St. Louis.
For me, it was like just that I actually cared about the guys getting in the ring. Like, right, I remember us sitting there. We knew none of these dudes had any shot of winning, and we along with the rest of the crowd just sat on our hands and did not care. I actually, from start to finish, that's what it was last year, right? But I actually, from start to finish, actually thoroughly enjoyed the men's Rumble match. It's some amazing spots, man. When Logan Paul came out, right? He came out there, and then he and Ricochet had that collision in midair.
The double, I call it double leaping crossbody.
Hey, my oldest son, Ethan, he's 9 years old, popped out of his chair. He got up. What just happened? He just popped out of his chair, right? Like he didn't know who these guys were, right?
You get the kids to pop, you did something right.
Hey, so that was a great moment for me. And of course, seeing my guy, like my favorite wrestler, Cody Rhodes, come back looking the best he's ever looked. Not ever. He's had some great moments, but he's definitely in great shape. Great ring gear, great moment, huge pop. Man, I loved it.
I'm gonna say my Cody feelings in here in a second. A couple of big items that I had kind of took notes of during the show. Dom, kudos, my brother. You went from worst to first in a matter of 60 days or so. He's got the look now. He's got the swag now. Dom's got it. I didn't think Dom would ever get it, but Dom's got it. So kudos to Dom.
Hey, can I say this real quick?
Yeah, sure.
So, again, I couldn't hear if it was either Michael Cole. I know it wasn't Pat McAfee. So it was either Corey Graves or Michael Cole. Quote, at the end of the times, cockroaches, Twinkies, and Dominic Mysterio.
Oh, hell yeah.
That is what they said on commentary.
Oh, hey, y'all. Say on Dominic before I forget, because I forgot. So, Ethan's not a fan of Dominic. He was so mad at Dominic, he wouldn't get in the ring. Like, Dad, why won't he get in the ring? What is wrong with
That's
him?
awesome,
He won't
though.
get in the ring. He was so mad at Dominic.
That is
Man,
awesome.
He's great heel. Great heel.
Awesome.
Go ahead, man, sorry.
No, Kofi. I felt bad for him. He messed up his,
Yeah.
agility spot. That's 2 years in a row now.
That's 2 years in a row, right?
Yep, that sucks. Yep. So shout out to Kobe though for trying it again. Edge is back and got eliminated in less than 90 seconds. We hit that round of applause for that there.
We'll be clapping about that for.
Beth Phoenix looked incredible though.
Did she? Oh,
She
that
looked
spear gore she
incredible.
did to Rhea too. We'll
Yeah.
talk about Rhea in a moment. But man, was I up there?
So the two, I thought the men's match was really good. Thought it was really good. I did have 2 issues with it, besides who won.
Okay.
One was Montez Ford.
Ooh,
What the hell was that?
I have no idea.
Are you like? Here's a
felt
guy
like-
that is super uber athletic. Here's somebody that we've been talking about now for probably about a year and a half, 2 years on needing to take that next jump. And I'm not saying Montez should have won the Rumble. I'm not saying he should have been in the Final Four. What I am saying is the Royal Rumble is made for making people either by winning the Rumble or by moments inside of the Rumble, right? Gunther was made in the Rumble. Granted, he lasted 70 minutes. Asuka, which we'll get into in the women's Rumble, kind of, if you don't know, that was kind of like what her gimmick was when she was in Japan. She was made in the Rumble if you didn't know who Asuka was. He comes out there. He lasted all of, I don't even think he lasted 2 minutes.
Regardless, it didn't
That's
matter.
a travesty.
Yeah, it didn't matter. if
That's
he
an
lasted 10
absolute
seconds.
travesty.
It didn't matter. It was his. It was almost like, okay, we're gonna put you in a Rumble just so you can get a paycheck. Go in there, bye, have a nice day.
Dawkins had more.
Absolutely, he did. Yep, I was like, what happened here? Okay.
Hated that. The other thing I had that I did not like was the only other thing sheesh was Johnny wrestling. You guys knew he was in that match for over 30 minutes?
Yeah, I did.
I didn't notice he was in the match.
He did
that long.
nothing to get himself over.
I did.
Get yourself over, kid.
Man, I thought that was a little rough. He was in there for 30 minutes, and he did nothing that was memorable at all. But Cody winning. Shout out to Cody. The crowd was there for him. I did really, really enjoy the back and forth one-on-one with him and Gunther. At the end, I thought that was done fantastic. I said it on last week's podcast. I didn't like that Gunther or that Cody was going to win. We knew he was the favorite to win it. Reason why I didn't like it, and I thought my mind would change in the main event. We are shoehorning Cody into the Roman story. It doesn't match. It doesn't go. we got to see what they'll do in Elimination Chamber. The story right now is Sami Zayn and the Bloodline, however you want to look at it. Okay? The story also may be Jay and Roman at this point. It may be Jay and Sami. We got to see how they flush this out. Point is, how do we get from Cody Rhodes winning the Rumble to challenging the only Universal Champion, which is Roman Reigns right now, to Mania and getting people as emotionally invested in that story as we all are right now with the Bloodline story? I'm going to say you can't. The way for them to get out of this is if Roman, and I'm not a fan of him working 2 nights at all, if he was to work night 1 and night 2. What I thought was going to happen, I guess still is possible, maybe, but it's becoming more and more of a long shot with The Rock. So I'll probably keep my Rock train going for like another 2 weeks.
We still talking about The Rock?
And then after that, I still think we've all worked ourselves into a shoot. There's no way The Rock is not involved in Mania when it's in Hollywood. He's the biggest Hollywood star. He has to be involved, but
he don't live in Hollywood, though.
You don't know that.
He is Hollywood.
But you don't know that. Listen.
He lives in Georgia. I know he got a house here. I seen it.
You don't. He also has a house in Hawaii. He doesn't live in Hawaii either, okay? So listen. You talking about Cody or you talking about The Rock?
I'm talking about The Rock.
He don't live in no damn Georgia. Listen.
He do. He got a house here.
Listen. So what I thought we were going to do is get Cody and Roman night 1. And then I thought we would do Rock and Roman night 2. I'm even okay if we do Cody Roman night 1, Sami and Roman night 2. Point is, we heard those folks in the Rumble in that crowd.
Period.
You gotta ride that hot hand. That hot hand right now is Sami Zayn. I don't like what I always thought they were going to do I thought they were going to do Usos against KO and Sami in Elimination Chamber here in a few weeks for the tag titles. I don't even know how you get there. Jay didn't touch Sami. It's hard for me to believe Sami can do anything between now and Elimination Chamber for Jay to feel differently about Sami compared to what he just professed for him last Monday. He's family. He always had my back. We heard the phone call on SmackDown. Or, I'm sorry, it was a face-to-face. Sami said, if you need anything, ever, Jay, I got you. Are we supposed to expect that now Jay's going to throw all that out just for Roman? When Roman treated him like dog shit for the first 5 months of this storyline up to now, I can't see that happening. So I did have an issue. I mean, I'm happy for Cody. I am a Cody fan. But just watching it, and I'm like, man, how do we get emotionally invested in Rock versus Cody at Mania? And I'm going to say it right now. I hope Cody doesn't win the title at Mania.
Jeez, look.
Well, you didn't want him winning the Rumble, so naturally you wouldn't want him to win the title at Mania.
I wish I had a soundboard. I'll play the song. We need a hero. Da 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 da. So we need a hero. They need a hero. Somebody that you can.
Is Sami Zayn not the hero? You don't think Sami Zayn's a hero?
He is a hero. He's an underdog, but I don't think Rhodesia don't want to see him.
I sure don't.
She doesn't want to see him.
Not against Roman.
Right?
Not against Roman.
I don't think most people are going to root for Sami, but I don't think people really think that Sami physically can go toe-to-toe with Roman. Like, KO
couldn't go toe-to-toe with Roman.
Nah, I'll roll with Stone
hey, that match still out there. Hey, that match still out there.
I'll roll with Stone Cold.
I forgot about that. Oh, no, match still out there.
I'll roll Stone Cold over Sami.
We doing that.
I just don't feel like physically Sami can be the guy to take down super Roman Reigns. Here's the thing. On WWE 2K23, Roman Reigns is a 99, right? Sami Zayn is probably an 83. Like, if you think about, if you had to rank, like, stats, right?
Are you using 2K logic?
I done did it. So you think about Cody, right? Like, Cody is the next logical person. Because, like, you think, like, a Drew McIntyre is probably somebody who physically you think can probably, beat a Roman, right? But he's not in there right now. So Cody's the next guy. He's the next guy, and the crowd is behind him. So he's somebody you believe that could be the guy to kind of help KO, that can help Sami overcome this monster of a man that has become a Roman Reigns. It makes sense to me, right? And I know you guys maybe had a problem with him coming in at 30 and winning, right?
Oh, boy. Right? That was absolutely an issue for me. And
I actually don't have a problem with that at all.
I did. If you're going to have him come in at 30, he should have not been a announced entrant. Have it up for surprise.
I see that.
No, why? What was the point of that?
I see that point. Right, because
So
at
you know
that
what I
point,
mean?
we knew who number 30 was. Yeah.
Correct.
I'm gonna say,
And also, too, real quick, and the whole point of that is because he's a face. He's coming back from injury, coming in at number 30 and winning. It's not really the biggest, climbed a mountain to win. If he came in at 1 and went all the way off of injury, off a torn pec, first time wrestling since last June, and we tell that story, you're putting even more fire on him. Having him come in at 30 and throwing the guy out that came in at number 1, at the end of the day, doesn't seem that impressive. But if it was a surprise entrance and we get that pomp and circumstance, imagine what that pop would have been like, and imagine what that pop would have been if he would have won. It would have been elevated from what we saw. It was still really, really good. Right now, I'm kind of just nitpicking, but if you're going to announce a face coming back, a return, and have him at number 30, that doesn't make sense to me.
So you think about it, like the two most important positions in the Royal Rumble match is number 1 and number 30, right?
We had
and you want the number 1. You want to all right, can they make it to the win, right? Mm-hmm. And then the 30th is always important because you think you're expecting it to be somebody big, right? That's going to pop the crowd, right? I remember that one year. I can't remember you might know what it is, Matt. When number 30 was like Rey Mysterio.
Oh, yeah.
And the crowd kind of booed a little bit, right?
No, it wasn't a little bit.
We shitted on that. We shitted completely all over it.
Sure did. We wanted Daniel Bryan.
Yeah.
That was 2014, I believe.
2014?
We wanted Daniel Bryan.
Yeah.
We got Rey Mysterio. We also got Batista winning that Rumble. They had to course correct really quick. And they turned it into a triple threat match.
Right? The crowd went into it. So, that number 30 got to be somebody big. So, you think about and we predicted Cody winning 6 months ago. So, we knew, he's going to win that Rumble. Before the injury, after injury, we assumed that he was going to get to the Rumble. That was going to be his way and his shot to Roman for the championship match. So, we already kind of knew that. That's been booked. So, the injury was like a bump in the road. The Rumble also was a way for him to quickly get reinserted into that main event match. But having him come out in 30 instead of number 1, we did two things. We got Cody where he needed to be, but we also made a star out of Gunther, right? We got another respectable heel that we believe that could potentially be main event. So I think it was great. Because who else would you want to come in at 30 if it wasn't Cody? If Cody came in at 27 or 25, whatever, who was the 30th guy based on the arrangement that they had in that match? It wouldn't have been anybody big or anybody that would have been like, oh wow, here's that guy. No, we finally got to see Cody. Finally got to see the entrance. We finally got to see him look the way he looked.
I tell you who it should be. Should have been Rey Mysterio coming out unmasked, limping to the ring.
Oh. Ready to whoop that, but no, Dominic was gone by the way.
He's already gone, but he doesn't it doesn't matter. He doesn't he still got to show up to work. We didn't even see Ray on camera at all.
So does he get a paycheck for this?
Oh hell yeah,
absolutely he does.
Oh yeah. Oh, Ethan was mad about that too. Hey, Ethan was mad about that too when he found out that it was Dominic. He did that to his dad.
And he ripped the mask.
He was so upset.
And he ripped the mask.
Oh, he was like he can't even rip the mask. That's what he gets.
Those masks are super sturdy though.
Yep,
they are. So that was that. Overall, thumbs up for the men's Royal Rumble for sure. Like I said, I thought it was really good.
I got something on the men's Rumble.
Yeah, what you got?
That we have to represent. And again, call it H booking or producing, whatever. I was so happy to see him used the way he was used for the amount of time he was used. But I was so happy to see Booker T. We got a Spinneroonie. We got him in and out. And
yes.
I was happy.
Yes.
It was awesome. I was able to say yes 5 times. Well, he didn't do the 5 time, but we know what I'm saying. I felt it in my soul. He got the Spinneroonie, got up. And I forgot who sent him over. Gunther kicked him out, I think, right after it. So, but get on out of here. But it was perfect. He wasn't staying around forever, not making it unbelievable. Nope. In, get his spot, and leave. What?
You weren't feeling it, huh?
Oh, you.
Yep.
You knew
Crickets,
guys.
Yeah, you know what? But shout out to Booker because he was able to do it in his hometown of Texas. Other than that, you could have kept that.
I can't do a Spinneroonie right now.
He couldn't barely either.
Yes, he did. Come on, don't play him like that. We're not going.
Hey, guess what? Crack the code. Mountain Dew, pitch black match.
Yes.
Uncle Howdy.
We can't talk about him yet, though. That's
Yeah,
later.
we can. That was match number 2.
But that was the end of that.
Oh, there's nothing about that match I want to talk about. It was.
I did. There's something I want to talk about.
Okay, great. I would give you my thought on Uncle Howdy. I'm gonna lay out.
You can't do that. You
And
can't do that.
you can have the rest of it.
It's chronological order.
Wait, you
Chronological.
didn't enjoy the match? You
It's
didn't
a
like the match?
chronological
Uncle Howdy.
Oh.
Uncle Howdy is blind as a bat.
He missed the whole spot.
He missed. What were you aiming at, Bo Dallas? Now we got to pull the curtain all the way back, Mr. Dallas. What happened? So now I'm guessing like maybe he's like Last of Us. Maybe he's like a clicker where he only goes off of sound and he can't see.
I think Michael Cole said something.
And that's why he does like this little wavy thing that he does, and he dances because he hears music because he can't see. So we know like if one of your senses are out, your other one's like 2 times more than what they should be. There's no way he can see. I'm still trying to figure out, was his job to act like he landed on LA Knight, or was his job just to fall so the pyro and fire can go off, or is there something else to the story?
It was the middle. It was the latter. I think it just needed that explosion to happen. I mean, he's 15, 20 feet up. I don't think I actually wanted him to elbow drop LA Knight. Let's be honest. Maybe they should have just did it better working on the camera. I don't think he should be elbow dropping somebody that high up.
Hey, but we don't know. He could have got that elbow in that head on the way down. We didn't see that part.
Okay.
He could have got that elbow on the head.
No, I saw it.
Hey, look. Hey. Hey, we didn't see that. We didn't see what happened to the head. But yeah, Low did like he missed him. But
Man,
I
he
assume,
completely missed.
But
And then
I'm
they
assuming
showed the
he got a little
replay
bit
like
ahead, yeah.
but they showed the replay like he hit it. And I was like,
Yeah.
you can't show this same
yeah.
replay. Yeah. But that was my takeaway from that match. I thought aesthetically it looked good for us at home. I don't know how it looked live in person. I thought it was kind of cool with the neon. But to me, that match was also kind of like Bianca and Alexa, where
Hold on. Nope.
the finish was for the entire match, like the last thing we saw at the end. So for this match, it was Uncle Howdy just taking a leap of faith like he was Jeff Hardy and missing everything, where with Bianca and Alexa, it was for the video package. But evidently, Rhodesia, this was a match of the year candidate for you. So go ahead and break down
Top two.
scientifically
Top two.
LA Knight versus Bray Wyatt.
All I was going to say was that I thought that the visuals was awesome. I thought that it being this, we didn't know what this whole nighttime or dark match was going to be. So
Said nighttime.
it's this nighttime match. And then when we saw the spot on the announcer's table and like their paper clips or whatever, those little cuts out was actually like a neon yellow. I thought all of that was awesome. And then when Bray switched over to this other character, I thought that was sick and sweet too. I didn't really see that happen. I just thought overall visually, I really liked what I saw there. I did laugh when Uncle Howdy missed all of LA Knight. But I actually
He might have got the head though. He might have got.
He might have got the head.
He didn't, man. He didn't get anything.
But overall, visually, and think about that man's Royal Rumble was pretty hot. You needed something that was going to be kind of the complete opposite of that. And I was completely happy with that match. I do not think you should compare that to the women's match. Because once we get to that, I got some heat for that.
But no, I thought it was what it was going to be. I told you guys a week ago. I was like, it's going to be about story with this match. It had to be. And I thought I agree with Rhodesia. I think like when Bray came out and then the lights cut off and then you saw like the paint. I thought that was a cool effect along with the eyes. And then I thought that was visually it was cool, like with the neon, etc.
It was.
I thought that was, and I thought the match was what it needed to be. I didn't expect it to be a scientific classic. To be honest with you, love LA Knight. I love the character, the charisma, the promo. But in the ring, I don't think that's what he's known for me. I don't think Bray, again, is also known for being a technical master. I think the match was quick. I think exactly what it needed to be. I thought it was cool looking. Actually exceeded my expectations in that because we've seen a lot of these matches and they just look like dog crap. I thought from a visual perspective, especially with Bray's paint and what he looked, I thought that was a phenomenal spectacle. So I wished that Uncle Howdy would have got a little bit more than the little bit of elbow that we ain't see on camera to top that segment off. But I thought it was fine for what it was.
But I also like too the Playhouse the
characters.
They were at the top afterwards. Again, visually, I was 1000% satisfied.
Well, it's spectacle, right? And we know how great they do spectacle in WWE. I do hope that the story now is done with LA Knight and he can move on. LA Knight was the MVP of that storyline, promo, feud, however you want to say it, with Bray. I'm ready for LA Knight now to move away from that and actually be able to sink his teeth into something that's not supernatural and someone that can kind of talk back on just wrestling terms. I'm better than you. You're better than me. I'm gonna fight you, kind of a thing. So then we move to Bianca Belair versus Alexa Bliss for the women's title. I'm looking at the press conference and Triple H is talking, so it'll be interesting to see what he's talking about when we get off of this. I thought this match was just a setup for the "Do You Think You're in Control" video for Uncle Howdy / Bray Wyatt. I didn't think it was much to that match at all, which I didn't think it would be anyway. This is one of them, you guys remember when they had their match on Raw, I was kind of over the feud then, and I'm like, okay, we saw the match. I really don't care to see another match, but I'm glad they got a chance to showcase. There was good action inside the match. I think they worked well together. It was kind of just ho-hum, let's get through it so we can get Alexa to the next stage of her story. And then hopefully tomorrow we get the promo of the Women's Royal Rumble winner saying she wants to take on Bianca at Mania, and then we kind of get that thing. What was your guys' thoughts about the Women's Championship match?
I thought it was a D, and I would only give it a C- because it's Bianca. I actually thought the match was very clunky. It felt like they were timing their steps. It just didn't seem like, for me, for sure. It did not seem, I know how Alexa can wrestle. I know how Bianca can wrestle. I just thought that the chemistry just was completely off. And I'm like, well, maybe it's just a setup for the story afterwards. And when we got that video package, I still felt completely let down. Did not like that match. That was the worst match storyline of the night for me.
So Bray and LA Knight was a 5-star classic, but the women were counting their steps? Yeah. You may be a hater.
Yeah.
You could be a hater. You know what I mean? You may just be... You may just be a female wrestling hater.
That is not true.
That's what you may be.
That's not true. Don't do that. Don't do that.
We'll see. We'll timestamp this, and then every week going forward. This is the bourbon that I had to shot.
So
that you made me shot because you went 0-4 on the NFL playoff from last week, which we have 2 games tomorrow that you'll be drinking next week on the pod.
I never agreed to any of these things because number one,
to it. It is what it is.
No. I haven't watched all season, and I was sick. Right, I'm still recovering.
Man, why are you making excuses?
I'm fighting for my life. I'm fighting for my life over here.
All right, Kales.
I'm fighting for my life. All right. Look. But so going to the match though. I thought it was. Look. I'm a big Alexa fan. But honestly, I'm not a huge in. Her work isn't what makes me a fan. It's not just the looks either. I think she's a great personality, character. I love her on the promo. But her matches, they're there. They're okay, right? I think that Bianca is great in the ring, but she needs a partner to kind of tangle with. I don't know if her and Alexa kind of mesh very well. We haven't seen it yet. So I expected the match to be that. I was hoping, again, this match would be more about the story. And the story is the evolution of the Alexa Bliss character. Like, what's next for her? Because this version of Alexa we knew wasn't going to beat Bianca. Not at this stage. So for me, it was like, all right, what's going to be the next step in her progression to get to where her final form, right? So that's what I was looking for. The match was fine. I don't think I'll give it a D, maybe a C. I didn't think it was that bad, but honestly, I took that as a time to kind of refuel, get something to drink. I had it on, I was watching it, but then I wasn't watching it. But I was waiting for that story element to happen, which we didn't really get until the very end of the match after the finish. So,
and I don't think that story, when you look at how we tell overall a whole story or the whole campaign or program with somebody, each week or each interaction, it should be a little bit deeper, a little bit uncovered, like an onion, or you're pulling back more and more layers. I didn't think what we saw afterwards, that video package, much more better than when I saw the crazy guys in the crowd with different masks. I didn't feel like oh, this was the next step of showing more and more of wherever this is going. I felt that it was pretty much like status quo to what I've been seeing. And for it to be at the Rumble, I was just completely let down.
Well, it's not because of the line. And the line was either do you think you're in control or you think you're in control, aren't you? It's one of those two. She lost the match. So the line would then say, you need to let me control you. You're not in control. I'm in control. And once I'm in control of you, you get everything you want. That's what I think that meant. So it does make sense to the story because now she's got to just say, look, I tried to fight it. Take me over.
Yeah.
But it was what it was, right? Yeah. Yep, it was what it was. That leads us to the Women's Rumble, which, woo-wee, I think,
where's my cigar?
Yeah, buddy. The women got it this year.
I still don't get it.
The women got it this year. We had Rhea and Liv at number 1 and number 2, which I loved. They rocked it all the way to the end, which I loved. Of course, Rhea Ripley did win. I tweeted it. I thought that ending of, I think I even said perfect. And, you know, I guess maybe there's different levels of perfect now because that was a perfect sequence with her, Asuka, and Liv, the three of them, as you know, on the end of the apron and things of that nature. But then, of course, we saw perfection to the highest levels at the end of the main event with the Bloodline, KO, and Sammy. But I love the way they did that. Some really cool surprises, too, in the match. I was happy to see B-Fab. She got some quick work in about 32 seconds.
You know, but at least she was able, seconds, right?
Yeah, she was able to show her face.
Yeah.
But she was somebody that you kind of remember. My MVP of that match, and not really MVP. MVP, you're probably talking Rhea, you're probably talking Asuka. But my MVP, Roxanne. When she got in that match, and I think she was either number 7 or 8, Roxanne Perez turned it up a level. You could feel the energy and the tempo and the speed of that match go up when she got in there. And you heard the crowd, too. The crowd was there for her also. She has it. Every chance I get, I put her over. She is going to be a force in the women's division very soon, I think. And she's going to rock it. I thought she was fantastic. But, yeah, so, of course, I got a couple other things that really spoke out to me in the women's match. But overall, what did you guys think about the match? And then what was some of the major things that you liked, either positive or you didn't like, and it was negative?
There was really no complaints for me on the Women's Rumble. I think that was an A++. A couple of things was NXT ladies represented. It kind of reminded me of maybe the first women's NXT when they came over, or when we first had the Women's Rumble and NXT women came over. And because I was a huge NXT Black and Gold fan, I felt a certain way. Now, of course, I don't watch NXT today, but I can almost feel proud for them the same way that I kind of felt proud for them before they represented. And heck, I was going to call her Tony Storm. What's her name? Zoe Stark. She was in there. Yep. She was in there for a long time, looking good. I just saw the NXT ladies showed out. We'll save number 29. What's she? No, she was number 30. We'll talk about that, I guess. I don't want to steal the thunder there. But overall, the only person that I was like, was Shotzi. Again, I don't know what it is. I don't know. That she was out of everybody that was in the Rumble. To me, I felt like Shotzi was the one that was a little bit like, okay, you could take it or leave it. But great match. Even Michelle McCool coming through, representing, looking fine, looking great. Like, I loved it. No complaints.
Michelle McCool is a athlete. That is AFLETE.
Hey, shout out to Brandon. He was like, yo, somebody need to call child services, man. She gonna ban her kids for that long? In a crowd of strangers? I'm like, geez Louise. I hope they have security out there for them babies. But, hey, so how we feeling about, hey, Mercedes, she gone, right?
She gone. And Trinity.
And we've got no Trinity.
No, but y'all knew Mercedes. That was just Rhodesia's fun thing. There was no way you really thought Mercedes was still going to be.
That.
No,
then you're
Rhodesia was riding for it, and her hope was having me have some hope. But I at least wanted to see Trinity, though. I thought we might get Trinity and Naomi back.
I did too. I did think there was a possibility. So if you don't bring her back at the Rumble, well, yeah, I mean, if she doesn't come back at the Rumble, but I guess then you could say she wasn't going to win the Rumble. that was Rhea's time, so maybe you don't bring her back at the Rumble, but you still bring her back before Mania. So I guess that's still a possibility. I loved the surprises that we did get. You brought up Zoe Stark already. I thought she did well for herself in there, and she got a good look. Kana, a.k.a.
Yes.
Asuka. Yes. Oh, boy, let me hit every single... Boy, oh, boy. When she took that mask off, she had that haircut.
Yes.
She had that right makeup on from back in the Hill time.
And the crowd was there for it, too, right?
Sure was.
Was that like one of the bigger reactions for the crowd that night?
I think it was there, man. It was absolutely there. And then you kind of back-to-back that, too, with Piper being back. No more Dewdrop.
Yeah.
Shout that out, right? Like, that's something we've been asking for. And she is such a strong, great talent. Hopefully now she'll be able to kind of get into what she can get into. I loved those two quote-unquote surprises.
Oh, don't
Chelsea
talk
Green.
Jack. Oh,
I cannot wait to see Chelsea Green. If you guys don't know, word broke that she's going to be doing a Karen-type gimmick where she complains about everything. And boy,
she was doing
boy,
it coming down to the ring.
She sure was.
She holds the record.
Yeah.
She's now the record holder for the quickest Royal Rumble elimination.
For a female. So I think they got it at 1 second. Can you imagine the promos and the storyline, backstage things we're going to see from her talking about that? I'm excited for that. She looked fantastic. If you guys don't know about Chelsea, I'm sure you do, but she
has
can
so
go
much
in the ring.
personality, too.
Yep.
She has so much personality.
Yep. You guys already talked about Michelle McCool. Indy Hartwell.
Yes.
Love to see Indy. It's time for her to be in that main roster.
Yeah.
There is nothing more she can do in NXT. I don't even.
She hasn't found a character yet, though. That's the only thing maybe they might be waiting for. She hasn't found a character yet. But when she does look out, because she has to look. She's tall. She's beautiful. She can go in the ring. But she just hasn't found a character yet, especially going to the main audience I think they can connect with. But it was great seeing her, though.
To that point, that's not her job. That's WWE's job, right? It's not like AEW where you kind of bring your character in and they kind of work around that. WWE, they make their own characters. So I get what you're saying for sure. But I was really, really happy to see her. And then Nia Jax, it was a fun surprise at number 30. But what I don't understand is how did they botch her music? They started her music 10 seconds early. Yeah.
Yeah,
the countdown clock didn't even
9
hit.
Seconds.
Her music came out of nowhere to the point when I saw it, I was like, are they going to tell the story
she's
of...
taking the 30th person.
Yeah.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
That wasn't the story.
Yep.
So they botched that, which kind of sucked. But the crowd reacted huge to her and her music. So I was happy to see that. I'm going to assume that was probably a one-off. I don't think we'll see her, after this. Just kind of the way they used her. It was kind of like quick in and out, kind of, I think she eliminated one or two people, but then even her showdown she had with Raquel, and I think she might have had one with Rhea too, there wasn't enough to that to where you say, oh, they're setting up a program after this. It was kind of like, all right.
They look good, though. Those face-to-face look good. Before we kind of wrap on that, though, I have to represent my spirit animal, Nikki Cross. She did a full sprint from coming out of Gorilla all the way.
She sure did.
In that ring. I was like, yes. And she's just being crazy and weird as all. I love that character. I always loved that character. And to this day, I still love that character. But she did a full sprint down that long-ass ramp. I'd have been passed out.
It was a long ramp. But no, like Rhea winning, that's what we all kind of predicted. And I think it's the right woman for the win. I'm looking forward to see her challenge. I'm hoping it's Bianca. I think that'd be
she's such a star, man. Like,
yeah.
I mean, yeah, because we've already seen her in Charlotte. We saw them. Was that the COVID? That was the COVID Mania.
Yeah, but
so maybe you want to. So maybe you want to do that. Yeah, I don't think that's the story. To me, that story is Bianca.
Right now it is. Yeah. But I can definitely see Rhea and Charlotte again, maybe a year from now, because Rhea's not the same person she was back then. She's a whole different person. She was great then, but she's a whole different person now. She's an energy. She's an energy when you see her. She's an energy.
You know what I did enjoy in both the Rumbles that we didn't get to? It felt really unpredictable, not on who was going to win, but the match itself. right? When we saw Brock get eliminated in the first 3 minutes, that kind of set it off like, whoa, okay. Then Bobby kind of got eliminated right after that.
Yep.
Yeah. In the women's match, Becky getting eliminated and not making it to the final 4 or 5, it just felt good. It felt like, okay, maybe these people we knew weren't winning. I already said, like, I didn't want Becky winning. I love Becky, but it's not her story. It was Rhea's time to win the Rumble. But you wouldn't expect her to go out halfway in the match.
You did.
I thought Damage Control was treated like a big deal again in that Rumble match. Yeah, and I think that they did a very good job of taking what they had and running with it. So there was a lot of things they did in the Rumble that I was excited and happy about. The big one, like I said, there was a head scratcher for me, was Montez Ford. That was just how and why. I would rather you not even have him in the match.
Right.
He did nothing.
I agree.
So we'll see. Anything else from the women's Rumble match you guys want to shout out or highlight?
Hey, Matt, Rhodesia, real quick. I wonder, was there some kind of spot or exchange between he and Kofi? Because both of them are really athletic guys, right? So Kofi being out so early, they didn't really have a chance to get him out. Because I thought that was kind of odd for a minute, too, the way he kind of lit him out. But maybe that has something to do with it.
It's a good call. And then you also wonder, too, just when you see things like that, like what other spots did Kofi had it, in mind in that match? Because now you got to completely scrub that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like it can't happen.
It's a chain of things. That could have affected. Yeah.
Yep. So, but shout out to the women. They killed it. Thought the match was awesome. And then, of course, they took that to the main event. We've already kind of broke down the main event at the beginning of the show. But overall, guys, perfection at its finest when it comes to storytelling. I can't imagine if anybody hates on what we saw, you already know the kind of person they are. Stay away from them. They got haterade in their bones, in their jeans.
Don't do that.
All of that. That is something that was just this is going to stand the test of time, and this is one of those things where we can say the same way our old folks talked about Bruno Sammartino. Oh, you don't know about Bruno Sammartino. Oh, you wasn't around for Bruno. Take it boxing. Oh, Muhammad Ali. You don't know about Muhammad Ali. That's real boxing. We're going to be able to speak about the Bloodline storyline in our time of watching wrestling and say, oh, you don't know what storytelling at its highest form is. You don't know what watching a real life action movie is unless you were living and watching and breathing the Bloodline storyline. So it was just another, it was another one where I was just like, man, perfection.
You know what this feels like? It almost feels like, and I'm not comparing it, but I'm drawing parallels. How from day one we watched Marvel movies from the first. We're not going to talk about like the Hawks, but the first Iron Man.
Phase 1, right?
All the way up, all of Phase 1, all the way into the end game versus the beginning of the Bloodline. It's like this payoff because we went with them from the very beginning. When this first happened, it's like it just feels so good. This is what it feels like. But, with the Marvel one was almost 15, 20 years, where this is 2 years. But point is, it almost reminds me of that parallel-wise. Like I was a fan from when it was first just a seed and them watering it, and we're seeing kind of how just all this is blossoming.
I agree. So let's do some real quick, way too early, may not be even the matches, WrestleMania predictions. So we got Rhea Ripley on the women's side. She's got to, of course, pick who she wants. I'm going to say she is going to pick Bianca Belair because Bianca doesn't have any other type of road to Mania. Neither does Charlotte, really. So I guess we'll see how that plays out. But I'm going to say it is Bianca. And I'm going to say that Rhea is crowned champion at WrestleMania. Rhodesia, who is Rhea going to challenge, and what is the outcome going to be?
Again, based off of what you just said there, I would agree with that. I don't think what really is going to happen at Elimination Chamber is going to have anything to do with this. I do think that Rhea is going to challenge Bianca, and I do believe Rhea will be leaving now as the champion because it's Alexa and Bianca didn't work.
I actually had when we were watching the show, I actually envisioned, Rhea winning the championship, right? And then the rest of the not Bloodline, I want to say Bloodline. The rest of the Judgment Day right behind her, right? With her as the women's champion. I think that's where we're going. I think that Bianca's had a good run, but you can clearly see that it's Rhea's time right now. Clearly, it's her time.
Men's side, Cody Rhodes. Seeing you've been banging this drum, Eshaun, I'll let you lead this one. there is only one champ right now. We don't know what an elimination chamber looks like. Whose belt's going to be on the line in those matches? Do we get one elimination chamber match? Do we get two elimination chamber matches? We don't know what that looks like. Give it to us real quick. What is your prediction on who's the champ and what's the match going to be at Mania, and then who's winning?
So here's the thing about that. Before I say a winner, I have to think about who I want to win. I think it's 50-50. I don't think it's set in stone that Cody's going to win the title at Mania. He could fail, but here's the thing: he can come back depending on at the end of this match, or because it depends on what's the next role for Roman. Right now, if Cody, if the plan is for Roman to take a vacation, right, and be off TV for a while, okay, we got Cody running the ship.
He's already on a part-time.
Yeah, a part-time job.
No, man, we need you, Roman.
Look,
don't leave us. Hashtag, don't leave us, Roman.
Look, he's been dominating for over 2 years now, so they want to give his character a break for a few months and have him come back in a different role, right? Or are we going to get a Stone Cold match at some point?
Oh, God.
Who knows, right? So it depends on what's the road next for him.
You are a hater, Rhodesia, and it is not becoming of you. Yeah, it does not look good on you.
That's what happens when you drink so much. But I'm gonna go ahead and pick a win. I'm gonna go ahead and hope for Cody, because I do want to see Cody as a world champion. I feel like he should have been a champion in AEW. I feel like he certainly should be a champion now. So I'm gonna say, as a fan of his, I want to see Cody go on to wrestle Roman and become champion.
Both champions, or does it matter?
A champion.
Okay.
Because I would prefer them to break up the titles at some point. Because look, right now it's Roman's time or it's Cody's time. At some point, we got to get Drew time. We got to get him in that role.
You got to split
somehow.
him up,
right? Yeah,
got to split up.
And so
those
they split
belts.
him up.
Yep.
That's going to give him an opportunity to get in there as well.